Ahoy! I'm Captain Rob Lee, and welcome to Pirate Lifestyle TV. Arr! Okay, all right. I'm glad you're here again today. This is episode number 6 in the series, and the very first thing I want to say is thank you very, very much for all the contact I've been getting, all the interaction. I do appreciate it. I've been getting a lot of interest in seeing the boat here. And I promise in a future episode we will be covering the boat. All right. So today's show is going to be kind of a continuation of the last show because there was a lot of interest in that. And so the quote it's more of just a saying. I did a little bit of search and couldn't find it attributed to anybody. But the saying for today is, if you work for someone else, by definition, you are underpaid. It's called profit. All right. I'm a very big believer as an entrepreneur that everyone should be self-employed. Even if you have a quote job, you can do something on your own, and it's a great backup to have a small business. And it could be anything, whatever your passion is. That's what it's all about, the passion. What the pirate lifestyle is all about is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And for me, I'm here on the sailboat, but you do not have to be on the sailboat. You might be in an RV, motorhome. It might be an apartment in New York City, right in Manhattan. It's you doing what you want to do when you want to do it. All right, so what am I talking about? Everybody should be self-employed. There's just so many benefits to that. Well, I really dislike to generalize because each of us is an individual, and when you generalize, somebody's always going to say, well, that's not true for me, and that's an excellent point. So, what I mean by that, generalizing, is you live in your world. You can't change the economics of the world. All you can do is change and deal with yourself. And so whether the unemployment rate is 5% or 10% or even 20%, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is if you have a job or not. This is about you and doing your thing. All right, there's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. So I'm sorry if this looks like a math lesson, but I'll try to keep it real simple. I love math, and math is probably one of my all-time favorite topics and subjects. But not everybody else has that same opinion, so don't worry, this isn't a math class. So 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. That's 168 hours in total in a week. The average work week, of course, is 40 hours. 40 hours times 52 weeks is 2,080 hours, and we usually say, a full-time year is 2,000 hours to make the numbers easy, which, of course, 40 times 50, 2,000. So there's 2,000 hours in a year if you work at a job. 40 hours per week, 8 hours a day. So if you're 40 hours a week, there's 168 hours. That still leaves 128 hours to be doing something else. Now you're going to be saying, well, Rob, I can't work 128 hours. And, I know that. Everybody needs to sleep and eat, spend time with the family, play with the kids, all that type of thing. But there's a lot of time there that you can be building yourself, working on yourself. So even if you have a job, you can work on yourself. So you can be doing things, in the evening, in the morning, on the weekends. So you can easily find, and I'm going to be really generous for you here, you can easily find another 10 hours in a week. And you should be able to find more like 20 hours, but for this little show here, we'll keep it really simple. So we'll say another 10 hours. So that's 50 hours a week times 50 weeks in a year brings us up to a grand total of 2,500 hours for working on yourself. All right, here comes a little bit more math. Peppermint tea today. Ooh, it's hot too. When you're in point A, you've got a regular life, and all of a sudden you've decided you want to do something better, and you want to get from point A all the way over to point B. It's a long way, and it may seem difficult to do. So you break it down into smaller goals and smaller steps. We all know the proverb of a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So this mathy part here, the focus of today's show that I've been thinking about is breaking it down into, we're going to look at one little step that you can take to start from where you are to get over to where you want to be, whether it's that way or that way. So the step is to look at what you make, all right? So, and where you want to go. Now again, the generalization part that I said about, like with the, is I really, really don't want you to focus on money. That's not my long-term goal here, because you're at A, and when you're all the way over at B, you won't be thinking about money anymore. But to make that leap, to get started, we'll use money as a measuring tool. So, pick a number, and whether you want to make $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, whatever it might be. And again, I don't want to make this all about the money, but we're just using it as an example. So if you want to make $100,000 a year, and you're going to work 2,500 hours a year, that means you've got to make $40 an hour, right? 40 times 25 is 100. So you've got to make $40 an hour to earn $100,000 a year. So now look at the things in your life and, sort of price out what your time is worth. And, maybe mowing the lawn, for example, doing the laundry, doing grocery shopping. Look at all the little things that you do in your life that you could pay somebody $10 an hour to do, and then you can work on yourself, you can work on your business, and work towards making that $40 an hour and paying someone, for the other. And that's how you get further along. Unless you really, really like mowing the lawns, and then maybe that would be the business that you should be going into is lawn mowing business. But that's, a very, very simple analysis to getting further along in your income. And then once you're further along in your income, you can start limiting the hours as you earn more and hold your income, at that level. All right, so yeah, you look at the ways that you can earn more money as you get more knowledgeable, you study, you work hard on yourself while you're at your job, you're working in the evenings, and you're progressing along. And so you're making $40 an hour, and you look at you work forward 50, 60, you keep stopping doing things that are making less money, delegating those to somebody else, and then you spend your time doing things that are making more money. But again, the focus, be careful, because it's easy that you get caught up then in making money, and that's not the goal here. The goal is not to just make more and more money and keep focusing on that goal, because then you've forgotten about the dream of having more time to do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And now hopefully that's included in your working your goal into your passion, and you stay that course of where you want to get, and then you can free up time as you get to the place of making more money, and you can reduce your time at that job to your business, and your business is your passion. Pretty soon you can kiss the job goodbye and put all your effort into your passion, which is what you love to do anyway, and include your family when you go places, and that is all part of that thing, and you're making more money doing it. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this show. I think it's pretty informative, and I think it's a step that anybody and everybody should be doing. So remember, my goal is to motivate and stimulate you to live your pirate lifestyle.